The dad.
Rock and roll!
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Feel, don't think.
Fear is my ally.
The Force will be with you.
We are encouraged to love. Be mindful of your thoughts.
I will not betray the Republic.
Hey, your worship, I'm only trying to help.
Scruffy-looking nerf herder.
I'm not afraid.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
This will go down as probably the most self-aggrandizing, please hire me, interview that you will ever hear. So we have, again, the creator of the Acolyte, or as we like to say, the Trasholite, whining about Star Wars YouTubers, among other things. Calling us vicious names that she has no proof of. I guess if you're not supporting trans or LGBTQ plus bullshit, you're a Nazi? According to her. We could talk about the play she just had on Broadway at the nonprofit playhouse there, where she basically attacked Christianity. It's called The Cult of Love. But I want to get into it more in a second, but we have to put the context of what she said into perspective. And I can't think of a better way than this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
So let's get into what Frau Headland had to say. First off, she said she was a fan for years of the YouTube Star Wars community, and that could be anybody from Shitty Star Wars Explained to he who is called Star Wars Theory, and everybody in between. And she went on to call the fans who dumped on the Acolyte grifters and snake oil salesmen, which is, basically her saying, I can't take legitimate criticism. And then she went off to call other YouTubers fascists and racists. All right, here's the deal. When you put something out there that is so over the top, amoral, it has nothing to do with Star Wars. It's just a way of pushing a political agenda, which is exactly what the Acolyte did. And you've been caught saying shitty things about the creator of Star Wars, and you're shocked that people from a different point of view, different politics, would, be offended, is ridiculous. Look, the woman is low IQ. She's just completely low IQ. She's dumb. She doesn't have any cognitive skills she's not emotionally equipped to handle being criticized by anybody. She's very much kind of a child when it comes to this. And the reason why this stuff started isn't because of any other reason than before the Acolyte we ever saw any of it, before that, we got to see her attack George Lucas. And if you guys remember, here it is.
This is like what we understand to be Star Wars, like the idea that like that only came from George Lucas, that only George Lucas holds the key for what we understand to be Star Wars is just untrue. And I think the prequels are an excellent example of that. I mean, the idea that like when you're hiring a director, that everyone is sitting in there waiting for George Lucas and not for the person who's going to know to hire Ralph McQuarrie, that's the problem. That's the misogyny and the problem with the auteur myth as it stands today, because they're not thinking this is the person that will hire the right people and this is the person that will be able to create the lookbooks and direct people to get them.
I mean, this is where it started. When that interview came out, and I think it was with The Wrap, and she was mercilessly attacking George Lucas using faux intellectual Hollywood cocktail speech. That's when the fans went, oh goody, it got worse. And it did get worse. Anybody who even saw a smidgen of the show knows how bad it was, and there is not an excuse for it. There is not an excuse for it. First off, the moment, she goes out there, and it's Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, and she's getting her narcissistic supply rebooted out on the stage at, D23 or whatever it was when we first heard about the Trashalite. Everyone started digging into her, who she really was. Then that interview came out, and she never apologized. She never said, I didn't know what I was talking about. I mean, gee, do I have to bring it up again? That, she insinuates or says it out loud. She insinuate that George Lucas was too stupid not to hire Ralph McQuarrie that somebody else did. Who the fuck would that be since it was 1972? The only person who was talking about Star Wars at the time in any serious tone was the maker himself. He's the one that hired McQuarrie to create the paintings and the drawings and the concept art. So Alan Ladd Jr. could take it to the other execs at Fox and get the green light for the $10 million that it cost to create the first movie. Okay? So Leslie, you already sound like a freaking ignoramus. But the fact that you're insinuating that he's a sexist, why? Why? Because, I don't know, he's a straight man, and all straight men are sexist or something, or, Leia had to wear that bikini. I don't think Carrie Fisher at the time thought that was as bad a load across to Carrie as you think it was, because she could look at the pictures and say, damn, she was hot. I mean, she replaced Farrah fucking Fawcett and all the other blondies. Okay? You're going to have to come up with a better excuse than blaming people for catching you saying shitty things about George Lucas before your shitty TV show came out. Okay? You're going to have to, because you were caught. And part of the reason why we didn't watch it was because of that. Let's talk more.
Argle, gargle, google, goo.
What?
Now you know how it feels. What are you talking about?
My head hurts.
That's your brain trying to comprehend its own stupidity.
Roger, at Cornell University, they have an incredible piece of scientific equipment known as the tunneling electron microscope. Now, this microscope is so powerful that by firing electrons, you can actually see images of the atom, the infinitesimally minute building block of our universe. Roger, if I were using that microscope right now, I still wouldn't be able to locate my interest in your problem.
So, and this was before she started calling publicly Star Wars YouTubers fascists and racists. She was doing that to George, who hired both Samuel L. Jackson to play Mace Windu and Billy D. Williams, all right, to play Lando Calrissian. There was an organic diversity in Star Wars that her Star Wars didn't have. As Jon Favreau even said, The Acolyte was fan fiction. It was the worst fan fiction he's ever seen. Garbage. Those are his words too, all right? So my problem with all this is the fact that there is a rumor out there, and I agree with it, that Leslie was the one that started the anti-Gina Carano GoFundMe account for trannies. And you're kind of like, what? I know, but there you go. That she was part of that Fire Gina Carano movement. And I have to say, I wouldn't be surprised. So when you think about the things that people like Leslie Headland do, they go from, they do what Alinsky tactics they were taught, which is deflect, evade, redirect, and flip the victim and the assailant, right? That's exactly what she did here. Because she makes a shitty movie, and she's obviously all about censoring people who disagree with her politically. And now we have to listen to her be a victim. She wasn't a victim of anything. She made a stupid TV show that no one wanted to watch, that everybody said was retarded. And it's our fault, because we found out who she was long before anybody else knew, right? She told us who she was in that first rap interview. So she's back. She's obviously looking to get work. She has yet to lose any weight. I think Ariana Grande should probably help her with that. I'm sure she could point her in the right direction, which, I don't know, demonic entity to pledge, to make a blood oath to. And she's still this seething hotbed of affluent, white, entitled, female, ultra-leftist bullshit. I mean, it's disgusting. Here's the deal. If she's not a fascist and her deflection and redirection proves that she is, she's also a devotee without probably realizing who Saul Alinsky was, of Saul Alinsky tactics. If she understood what a hypocrite and how ironic everything is that she's been saying, she would probably stop doing it. But because she's too stupid to understand it, here we are. Okay. There is a story out there that one of my friends who's a YouTuber put out there, and I'm sure she's going to scream racism, sexism towards him, and he's Latino. Really don't think that works. That line of attack works, Leslie. Who said Leslie Headland's BFF, who played the ugliest, creepy Jedi I've ever seen in my life. Weird looking bitch she is. Treated one of the actors, because he's a man, like utter garbage. Would consistently attack him. And hopefully that'll come out someday. Maybe after Kennedy's gone, I don't know. But it's true. I mean, if my friend was told that by the guy, it's true. And, you know, it's very hard for me to have any sort of compassion for Leslie Headland when her friend does that to men. The only bigot, the only fascist, the only sexist and racist, I mean, look what they did to Manny, the guy that played Queermeyer. The only one of those things in this equation of bullshit is Leslie Headland, okay? That is the only, she is the racist, she is the fascist, she is the bigot, and she can't see it. This is Steph signing out. See you around the galaxy.